Welcome to the Real Estate 401k Show. Here are your hosts, Ryan Gertis, Mike Weinstein, and Justin Frederick, helping you build a legacy of wealth through real estate. Powered by the Recon Group at West USA and the Frederick team with Fairway Mortgage. NMLS number 625918.
Well, on today's show, we got one of our very, very dear friends of the Recon Group. He is the Executive Vice President of West USA Realty here in the great state of Arizona, one of the largest brokerages in the nation. And Nick, though you don't sell real estate, you think you're a big deal.
You're definitely doing a hell of a lot better than our last EVP. I'll tell you that much.
Guilty, which is me. We have the three of us, we have a lot of conversations, obviously, about real estate. We have a lot more conversations about the concept of building wealth through real estate. And you and your family, you've gone down this path of wanting to build wealth with real estate, wanting to add to your real estate portfolio. So it's kind of what we wanted to talk about today. Kind of take us through your journey of coming to the conclusion that maybe the government's not going to support retirement, and the like, and just really seeing the value of real estate already working in the lives of your family.
Yeah, I mean, being in real estate for the last 10 years and watching what a lot of realtors try to accomplish with their clients, the last couple of years, we've really been honing in on that building wealth with real estate. I think it's something that agents don't focus enough on for their own personal business and their own personal lives and for their clients. And I think working with you guys and talking with you guys, that is really something that you guys have doubled down on. And so when we made our purchase in 2020, I think we got very, very fortunate when we purchased and what we purchased, as anyone who did in the last 3 or 4 years. The equity has just exploded. So in having that equity in the home, I think we were discussing it a year plus ago, and the magical word was a HELOC. And I think you were the one who made the first comment to me about what that is. And after that, it's been trying to get that done. I think every month you've made a comment to me, have you got it done yet? And so finally was able to accomplish it. And honestly, it really wasn't that hard.
I can be a nag.
I appreciate it. But yeah, that's where we kind of started at that point, was that HELOC process, which was a lot simpler than I ever thought it was going to be.
Well, it's that first push, and we always say that the first investment property is the hardest. But part of that is just getting that one foot in front of the other, and so you did do that. And so now, what's the plan? What's the strategy? What are you planning on doing now that you have some of these funds available?
I mean, it's finding that right next purchase, I guess. And I think that's where a lot of people get nervous. Even if you are a realtor, what does that thing look like? What does that investment property look like? Who are you working with to guide you through that? And I guess if you're not sure where to start with that, I would say speaking to agents who are focusing on that part of their business, because a lot of agents don't understand that. They don't understand cap rates. They don't understand what am I looking into to invest in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It makes total sense. And I think the conversation that I'd been having with you over the last 12 months about the HELOC is one of the misnomers about HELOCs, or I should say people don't understand about HELOCs. Just because, and for those of you, I shouldn't make any assumptions. HELOC is home equity line of credit, and it's basically a credit card or a checkbook against the equity position of your home. What a lot of people don't understand is you don't ever have to pay on your HELOC unless you use it. You don't have to use it. And so for you, I was just saying it's all about options. The last position that I ever want to be in again, because I've been in this position where an incredible opportunity pops up. My next door neighbor knows somebody who's selling a house, and I need $75,000 cash just to make this happen and flip this property. For you now, having that HELOC gives you those options, gives you that flexibility, and to not have to pass up on incredible opportunities.
Well, I think that's a really good point to kind of slow roll through this. I think a lot of people, when I was talking about, especially with my spouse and our family, getting a HELOC on our house, a lot of people got concerned. They assumed it was a second mortgage on the home. There was a lot of negative connotations with HELOC. Even when I said it's a home equity line of credit, it's not something I'm putting on top of our home. It's the equity we've earned. This equity has grown in our house, and all we're doing is, like you said, we're putting it out and making it liquid. So if an opportunity arises or that investment property shows up, we're able to pull the trigger way faster than we ever would be. And like you said, options.
Yeah, and I think Nick brings up a great point, because people make the assumption that it is similar to doing a refinance or a cash out refinance. People don't want to do it because I think, Nick, you got a pretty good interest rate. You know, you got a 3.25% interest rate. The moment, Ryan, you do a cash out refinance or refinance, that 3.25% interest rate goes bye-bye, and you have the current interest rates. HELOC is completely different.
Well, it is, and you're correct, but there's a little inaccuracy there. It's an optional second. So the moment that you do start drawing cash out of it, then it does go into second position. But it's exactly that. It's its own separate beast. It doesn't affect the loan that's in first position, right? It's just extra cash that's available for you. And for me, it's about timing. We all know that when a good opportunity arises, if you're waiting, or, well, you know, I haven't finished my HELOC, or I don't have the funds there, you know, give me 30 days, I got it.
Yeah.
Then the next guy who was already prepared for that is going to come in there, or girl come in there and take that opportunity away from you. So with that HELOC, you have that money instantaneously. You don't have to wait for that 30 days. It's just ready to go. So, and it baffles me also that people are reluctant to a word like that, but they're quick to call up a family member or a friend saying, hey, will you loan me 50 grand so I can get through this opportunity here? We see that all the time. And while I'm not mad at it, sure, that's great if you have somebody in your back pocket to help you out like that. But if you don't, this is one of the few options that are available to you.
Okay.
So undisclosed question coming your way. So hopefully it doesn't, put the spotlight on you. But one of my regrets in my life, and one of the things that we do as real estate wealth managers here at the Recon Group, is when somebody is thinking about selling their home, we give them the option to try to say, hey, maybe don't sell your home. Keep that home, turn it into an income-producing property, continue to realize the profits and the income that property can throw off over the years, and see if you can go buy home number two. I think with you guys, you did sell home number one and bought home number two. Do you ever stay awake at night when you're having bourbon going, boy, if I would have just held on to home number one, how much different would things be?
I may look up the equity in the other home all the time as well. Yes, it definitely.
You want to know something about me, Nick? I'm not afraid to say I told you so.
And the thing about me is I don't ever look up the equity on any other home that I've sold.
Yeah, it's definitely something I should stop doing, especially the last couple of years. But yes, 100%. It is something that you should try your hardest to be able to accomplish that, because having that investment property, having two homes, having the ability to bring in passive income, there's no reason not to. And if you can accomplish it, you should. And yes, Ryan, I thank you for all of your support and love through the years.
Yeah, well, I'm not above that. But I think that there's a lot to be learned here, because I learned a hell of a lot more over my failures than I do my successes.
100%.
And so I just hope that this is something that not only you've learned from, I've learned from it, and everyone that's tuning in learns from it too, because it is nerve-wracking. Yeah. I remember the conversation. I mean, you got two young ones at home, and there's all these other outside pressures, and well, Nick, what about the risk this? What about the risk that? I mean, for me, that's how I was raised too. You save, you buy a home, and when you're ready to move, whether it's up, down, or sideways, you sell, and then you go buy the next one. Well, I don't have a traditional 401k plan that's going to pay for my retirement. That's going to support me and my wife whenever we wake up one morning and say, hey, we either can't work anymore or don't want to work anymore. And for me, that's time away from my kids.
Yeah.
And I know that you look at it the same way. And so as we move forward, as you're strategizing and mobilizing and positioning yourself for this next move, I think you're going to catch the bug, dude.
Well, what you do have, pal, is you may not have a traditional 401k, but you got a real estate 401k,
damn right,
Ryan. Yes, you do.
100%. And that's, I think, again, it goes back to not trusting the resources that you have. And a lot of people, especially those that are probably listening to this, they're excited about the opportunities. They've already dialed in because you're listening to the Wealth Management Podcast. But if you've never done it before, it's terrifying, but you've got to make that step with the right individual. So if you're not sure how, that's kind of what this is.
All right, so I'm going to let you put on your executive vice president hat on because you're the big shot, the big cheese. Well, you're not big. The little cheese around here.
Thanks, buddy.
You knew the short joke was coming. So this dialogue that we're having right now, and the dialogues that we've just had over the last year or two, over a bourbon or three, how different? And because I know we have a lot of real estate professionals, a lot of realtors, a lot of agents that listen to this podcast. I think we have 2 right now that do. How different could it be, and could it make in their business to be able to have similar types of conversations that we're having right now with their clients?
I mean, it has to kind of start with their personal ideologies when it comes to what this is.
That's a good point.
Agents don't understand that they can retire from real estate with a portfolio of investment properties. It's not something that's spoken about. Honestly, I think you two do the best job of making it edible to an agent. You can make that one bite at a time scenario. A lot of people that talk about this type of real estate, it's too high level. It goes way over their heads. They're way too much into the economics of it and not just the people version. And that's what I think you guys do. And I think more agents that tune into that and they change their mindset on what this is, it should be the norm. It shouldn't be the minority of what realtors are doing. And once they tune in for their own personal business and their own personal finances, it becomes what the conversation is with their clients.
You know, Ryan, we have a saying on our team, nobody wants to talk to an agent, but everybody wants to talk real estate. And it's really one of the things that I think that makes us unique as a group of real estate wealth managers and a group of realtors here is people want to, and that's why people are listening to the podcast. People want to talk about how to build wealth in real estate. And so for us, when we're out and about, whether it's talking with a bartender or you know, someone on the golf course or whatever the case is, we just have deeper conversations, and it's easier to take somebody to the closing table because everybody does, I'm not going to say everybody, but most people want to build wealth in real estate.
Nobody wants to. You put it so eloquently when you say
thanks, buddy. I don't say anything eloquently. I'm just happy I just pronounced that properly.
That if somebody goes and is having a conversation with somebody and they say, "Hey, I'm a real estate agent" or "I'm a realtor," the listener automatically, just tunes them out. And metaphorically, it's like walking down the streets of Babylon back in the biblical days, saying, "I'm a leper." Like it immediately
and you don't
turns
say you're a
everybody-
leper. You have to scream it so that everybody on the road can hear you and run from you.
Right. Nobody wants to have anything to do with you. They're afraid they're going to get sold. They're afraid that they're going to have to cough up money. There's a lot of different stereotypes that run along with people that have their license or in the industry. They think that they're going to get slighted out of money, and so it's and you know what? For some of those people out there, some of those stereotypes are true. I've run into a lot of those very, very,
I might have used to be one.
I've run into a lot of very predatory agents in my day, and I don't necessarily blame the common public for having some of those stereotypes. So, all that being said, when I'm having a conversation, I'm putting your pocketbook first. Literally talking myself out of sales because we're paid just the same way a lot of real estate agents are, and that is through commissions. If I'm talking you out of transacting and instead converting a property over into an investment vehicle and helping develop your real estate portfolio and seeing all the wealth that can be made off of a specific property, it changes the entire tone and the entire relationship that we have.
All right, well, if you have been listening to this, and I know there's a lot of information that we have thrown out, and you're thinking to yourself, man, how can I get on the path to building wealth through real estate? Or how do I increase my real estate portfolio? We have an amazing team of real estate wealth managers here at the Recon Group at West USA Realty, and we invite you to reach out to our team. We would love to answer all your questions and help you build that strategy. Ryan, I know you love to do this. I know here it's coming. It's coming. How do they get a hold of us, pal?
You got to text the word wealth to 623-AZ-RECON.
Thank you for joining us on the Real Estate 401k Show. If you want more information on how to build wealth, Click on the link or text us at 623-297-3266. That's 623-AZ-RECON.